Jeff Hawkins spent 30 years in the church.
After L. Ron Hubbard died, Scientology changed. Miscavige took over.
He was mean. He was a mean guy. David Miscavige physically assaulted me 5 separate times. The most famous one, I think, and Mike was there, I had written an infomercial for Dianetics. I had sent it up to Miscavige. I get called up to the conference room, and there's about 30 or 40 executives sitting around the table. He starts reading from my script and making fun of it. And I said, sir, if I can just explain. Yeah. And he goes, see? You see how he talks to me? He said, all I want to hear from you is your crimes. So why don't you tell people what your crimes are?
A crime in Scientology are things like not applying Scientology correctly, prosecuting a Scientologist, talking badly about a senior Scientologist or SEORG member.
And so he's getting himself more and more worked up. And then finally...
And you're not doing anything.
I'm just standing there, right? he's working himself into a tizzy, right? Right? Then finally, he jumps up on the table, launches himself at me, knocks me back against the partition wall, starts hammering my face, knocks me down on the floor. I was scratched up. My shirt was ripped off. And then there was one time when I was in my offices and he came down, he was talking to us, and he just flattened me, knocked me on the floor. And he said, you know why I did that? And I said, no, sir. And he said, to show you who's boss.
And there's none of these times that you were like, this is sick. As a Scientologist, you are trained to believe that anything that happens to you bad in your life is your fault.
David Miscavige is the guy who dispenses Scientology to people, and he can dispense it to you or he can withhold it.
Right, so regardless of David Miscavige being an animal, you still believed in Scientology.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I always had the viewpoint of like, oh, that's going to pass, and the purpose will
remain.
Will carry on.
And will go forward, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things with David Miscavige is that I realized he was never going away. Right. And that this was the way the church was going to be from now on. Right. And that's the point where I said, I'm out of here. This is not what I signed up for.
Right.
You know?
How long do you think it took you to get this out of your system?
You know, in a sense, I don't think it ever gets entirely out of your system, but I'd say it's, 95% there. Yeah. I can go days without even thinking about Scientology now, which is a big improvement from when I first left.
Right.
Because then I was obsessed with finding out what the heck went on. And I did a lot of internet searching, looking up David Miscavige. Who is this guy? I had so many questions. Right. Because you're not allowed to ask those questions in the church. Right. I think everybody goes through that.
Yeah, I'm still going through that.